Hello! Welcome to another unboxing. Today we are looking at a new game from Kickstarter from a company called Capsicum Games, and it is called Fleet Commander Genesis. For those of you who may be familiar with the franchise, this is a sort of a sequel to there was an original. I don't remember off the top of my head which one it was or what it was called, but let's have a look, shall we?
Yeah.
So I'll show you just the core game for now.
Is this coming out as retail or is this?
So this will come out as retail. Don't ask me when. I was waiting 18 months from the close of the campaign till I actually got hold of the game. So it was a while. When I went through checking off all the bits and pieces were there are some of the stretch goals that ended up being box add-ons. So not 100% as to whether they will be there, but it's like 2 ships.
Right. Okay.
That's it. So this has 2 more ships in it, or it might be one of the expansions that has 2 more ships in it because of stretch goals. It's nothing major. I had a bit of a mare at first because I was like, wait a minute, this has got extra in, but I'm missing it from this bag.
Right. And all
further reading, it was just somewhere else.
So age 12 plus. 2 to 4 players, 60 minutes?
So 2 to 4 players. One of the stretch goals was a 6-player expansion.
Cool.
So I don't know how much that increases the game time by. Probably another sort of half an hour maybe. But yeah.
Turn-based?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'd say, probably about another half hour, 45 minutes and so.
Yeah. So I will point out actually that the box initially from the campaign started out as a standard 300 square.
Oh, right, okay.
One of the stretch goals made it a bit bigger, but then because they couldn't fit all of the stuff in it, they made it bigger for free. So the box you see here potentially isn't going to be the same size as the box that you get in the retail version when it comes available. That's something that they haven't clarified yet.
So it's just be slightly bigger than one of those boxes then?
If you imagine the same size as Imperial Assault. So sort of standard square.
Yeah.
I believe they're 300 square. But anyway.
That's nice artwork on the front though.
Yeah. I think they've done pretty well. The box has a nice sort of feel.
Yeah.
It's not quite as...
Feels a bit flimsier.
Yeah, it's not quite as robust as... I mean, you may remember from that Massive Darkness review we did, the unboxing. It's not quite as...
Do you know what that actually reminds me of? A Games Workshop box of sort of like late 90s, very flimsy cardboard.
Yeah, because even their boxes have gone a lot better lately.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's enough about the box. Nobody wants to hear about the box. So inside, 2 rule books.
Okay, so you can have a rule book each while you...
If you can speak French.
Oh.
So instead of making it as one book that has a French section and an English section, they've actually given you one French book and one English book.
I suppose it cut down the production costs because you just chuck everything in one box.
So that's the French one, and then that's your English one. So there is. I mean, I haven't. This is the first time of opening this, other than just checking that everything was there. So I haven't actually read through it yet. But.
So I'm guessing all the tokens have no English words on as such. They're all symbols.
No. So all of the tokens are in English. So, for example, you've got cruiser, battleship, destroyer, frigate.
Okay.
All in English.
So that does make me wonder if maybe the French one does have... Cool, you lost a token.
I lost a token. Oh.
That's 2 actually.
Oh, they'll be in there somewhere. That's the only downside. The card stock is, you'll see, noticeably thinner.
Yeah.
Purely because... in fact, I'll come back to the reason as to why these are thinner in a moment. These use a similar sort of wound tracker, damage counter as to what Drop Fleet Commander uses.
Right.
So each of your ships has one of these on a base. In fact, so if we use that one there, and then we'll just
looks kind of hero clicky.
Almost, yeah. You wouldn't be far wrong actually. So on your base, you've got.
I see. Yeah.
So this had to be thin enough and narrow enough to fit inside the little cutout on the base.
Yeah.
This then goes on top, and then this is what uses to mark your damage. So if you can see from the camera there, so
You might be able to get that.
You should be able to.
Probably get it on the colour more than anything.
Yeah. So as you spin down, that's where your damage is. On there it shows the amount of damage output.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what the other symbols are without reading the rulebook. They're all double-sided. So as I said, they are. This is a 4-player game as standard. So you will always have enough to colour code 4 different classes of ships. So blue, brown, green, and red.
So all I can think now is Klingon, Borg, Federation, and Ferengi. I don't know why.
That's probably the Star Trek fan in you, but we'll forgive you for that.
Thanks.
So yeah, the card stock is easily half as thick as the Massive Darkness card stock, but then you do have 2 of these stuck to a base.
Yeah.
Tokens, a little bit thicker, but not much.
Production costs, isn't it? You don't want to run another set of cards through the...
So when these are popped out, these form your command bridge. So you have your ship types.
Yeah.
And then you've got special weapon power-up symbols. And then these 2 are used for storing dice for use later on.
Okay.
So if we grab a pack of the dice out, you'll notice that these are not like your standard sort of D6s numbered 1 to 6. When I first saw these, I kind of thought.
So I'm guessing you kind of do it that sort of.
Yeah, pretty much. So these are representative. So attack, movement, and shielding. So you pick, I think it's 9 each turn. Roll all 9, or it might be 6. I think it's 6 actually. You pick 6, roll all 6, and then what you get determines what you can do. So this one is I believe, was it? So the red one there will allow you to make an attack either directly behind, directly in front, or directly to each side.
Mm-hmm.
If it was that one, then it's diagonally to each corner instead.
Yeah.
And if you roll one with all of the pimples on, you can use any of the squares around you. The good thing, it's probably a different concept to what people are used to, because there is only a single range, so it's 1 square in whichever arc you've got. The funky symbol on here, the circular symbol, is a denotion of your special weapon. And you need to gain 2 of those on that little pad there before you can activate that special weapon.
Okay.
And that'll be things like torpedoes. All the special weapon tokens are here. Without reading up on the rulebook, I don't know what they all mean per se.
Like missile barrage,
that's probably torpedoes.
Shield increasing, detection.
Yeah,
self-destruct maybe.
Yeah, quite possibly, or a nuke or something similar. So movement again is denoted by these dice. You get 1 square of movement. So if you roll that dice, you can move into your diagonal zones. If you roll on that, you can move into your orthogonal zones, and then you've got your move wherever you want. Mm-hmm. As I say, you can bank dice. So if you needed loads of attack this turn and you rolled a couple of defensive ones, you can bank those for sort of next turn to just give you an edge for the following go. So not everything you roll is wasted.
Right.
So you may not need it now, but you can save it for later. So I think you get there's 30 dice. Or 36 dice, I think, standard in the box. So that's the main sort of elements of the punch boards. Map tiles are the most interesting because the board is comprised of a number of these. We will actually crack these open because I've not opened these yet. So
let's see this.
So a standard game is played on a 4x4, so 16 of these tiles.
Okay.
And they are various things. So you've got a nebula, you've got an asteroid field.
So it's never going to be the same battlefield.
Correct, because you've got plane space.
Randomly generated, I'm guessing.
You make it so there are. So this is one of the sort of annoying things that I come up against with this campaign, is the fact that one of the stretch goals was for a campaign, a separate campaign book.
Right.
Because this is effectively, if you imagine the days of Battlefleet Gothic and with Dropfleet Commander, you essentially just build a scenario yourself that day and play it.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of like Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
You just play the game.
Here's two armies fighting. Don't care.
Yeah,
why,
exactly.
but yeah.
So one of the stretch goals for Fleet Commander was a campaign book.
Mm-hmm.
That unfortunately still hasn't arrived.
Right.
They had printing issues, I believe. So in one of their updates, just before shipping, they did explain that the campaign books were going to be sent out later. So unfortunately, we haven't got that to show you. But essentially, it's just going to be sort of scenario 1, play through this, and it'll give you probably give you map setups. So say place Nebula here, place Asteroid Belt here, and then it'll give you like the scenario to play. So which faction against which faction, what ships you start with, winning victories, victory conditions and such.
Yeah.
So that's what that's going to be anyway. One of the main things that they upgraded the size of the box is because they do claim, I am yet to verify this, but they do claim that everything from Fleet Commander Genesis core game, Salvation and Avatar, which are the 2 expansions, and I believe a couple of the other ones that come with more map tiles, will all fit in the one box. And that includes ships on flight stands.
Really?
Yes, yeah. I will at some point, once this video goes live, I will actually take a couple of still images of when it's all in the box, just to prove that theory, or disprove it, I suppose.
I'm guessing you would stand them up in there?
Yeah. Apparently there is just enough. It is enough space so they can be stood up, because the actual the flight stands themselves. Well, they probably will fall over. So here's the ships. As mentioned in the previous unboxing, already painted. So
really?
So not willing to like bash a company, but
yeah. Well, I mean,
their class of painting is 2 different coloured plastics, and then dabs of paint for the engines and a decal on the side. Let's open
that's mass producing, isn't it? So you can't really knock them for that.
No, but
it's
I'd have to check the campaign, the Kickstarter wording, because I'm pretty sure that it said that they'd all be hand painted. But if you have a look on this one here, I believe this is a battleship. You can see that it's dual coloured plastic, so it's clearly been mass produced in that and not painted. And then there's a couple of little dabs of yellow on the engines.
Which
and a decal on the side.
I can kind of understand, because then it gives the people who want to be able to paint,
so
they can still paint that. But
correct.
The people who don't like painting, who don't want to buy a game, think, oh god, I've got to paint all the miniatures.
No, that's right. It is battle ready straight out of the box. And another reason as to why we'll just quickly open all of these bags, because I want to show another reason as to why I believe that they've chosen this method, and that is we'll just do that. Oh. Camera crew's provided some scissors. Too late as usual. So
those aren't scissors,
I think the camera can sort of see all of this. So these are just the ships in the core game. I believe if they were to hand paint them, I probably would be waiting another 18 months for this game to arrive.
You can ask someone to mass paint these.
I mean, even with these, you can see very, very slightly there is still the dual coloured plastic, and they do have the decals on the smallest of ships. The level of detail is pretty good. I do really like the feel of them. I mean, it's going to need a decent sort of a really heavy undercoat in order to get paint to stick to this, because it's a very, very glossy finish. So you've got your battleships. I can't remember. So you've got Phoebe and Amicicles, I think, are the 2 factions in here, and then to play 4 players, you've just got branches of them, so the different colours. So you've got your battleships, you've got cruisers. Where's a Phoebe cruiser? So there's the cruisers. Move these here. You have another smaller class still. And then you've got your tiny one. So you can certainly see why they may not have elected to to hand paint these, because there is just so
look how
many of them. And let's be fair, the level of detail that you're going to go to, even if you were to paint these yourself, is probably not much more other than to maybe put a wash over it.
I'd say a wash, maybe a bit of highlighting with dry brushing.
Yeah. So that's the ships from the core game. There are, I believe, no, there are no tokens in these. They're all still on the punch board. So flight stands. I think I've got an open pack of flight stands. Nope. So the flight stands are very sort of drop fleet commander-esque, as the two that I punched out just now. So there it is. So the way these go together, so you've got the main base, you have your damage tracker that goes in the middle. So as you can see, so this was one of the reasons why the campaign had a delay, because when these were first printed, they were too high, so they stood real proud. So there was a noticeable, really visible gap in between this top plate and the plastic outer. So doing like all good manufacturers should have done, they sent them back because they weren't happy with it. Explained there was going to be a delay, and since then everyone's been sort of pretty happy.
At least there's a reason for the delay.
Exactly.
Rather than just there's a delay and no explanation why.
Correct. So that is your flight stand, and then your ship simply sits on the top of it like that.
Okay, so it's kind of like a very small Star Wars Armada.
In essence, yeah. And height-wise, they are more than, if we show you there, they are easily a good half an inch away from the top. I mean, you probably won't get all of the ships in there stood up like that. That's probably asking a bit much, just because of the sheer size of some of them.
Are the flight stands different heights?
The flight stands are all the same height. They're all on the exact same height plastic posts.
I'm just thinking the smaller ones you could actually have them slightly smaller and you could get more in.
Yeah, well, you're limited by the width of the base anyway, because all the bases are the same width. So that's, again, very, very Drop Fleet Commander-esque. I think Drop Fleet finished its Kickstarter a couple of months. Oh, that was a fair while before this one, actually. But it's similar sort of to it, I suppose. So that's the core game. Everything you see in this box is what you'll get when the retail version comes out.
So those extra ships weren't?
No, they're in the expansions. Okay. This may be the size that they print because it is barcoded on the back, which is our usual way of telling whether something's possibly going to be retail version. You can see all of the different areas in there for various tokens. There's also, underneath this stack of cards here, there's another bay for 3 lots of tokens. So there is a lot of thought that's been gone into the layout of the box to try and get everything in. You'll notice that these are full because there'll be more in other boxes.
Have they announced any further expansions?
No. So
kind of keeping this standalone then almost, or
for now, I'm assuming so. Without going and asking them the question. There were a couple of expansions that I opted to not go for because I basically went with all the expansions that came with minis.
Okay.
There were a few, I believe, pirates, and there was, I think, one other that came with additional map tiles, a couple of special tokens, and additional cards and all that. But it was, I couldn't see the real value in it because there was nothing. There wasn't no minis in there. There was no extras for a campaign or anything. It was just purely like extra command tiles and different board tiles. So this is one of the first expansions or for Fleet Commander. So this is Salvation. Again, I think these are going to come retail. So this was the box that came with additional ships where I thought it shouldn't have. The box says 3. the original Kickstarter campaign said 2 in this box, but they've
Okay.
extended that because of one of the stretch goals. So I do believe that the retail version of this will come with 3 of each of these ships as well.
It seemed a lot to us to paint all that and then, print all that and then go back in
Correct.
and then redo all that artwork to reprint.
So, again, in true Fleet Commander style, 1 French, 1 English rulebook. Which one do you think's which?
That's English.
Correct. How did you tell?
Expansion,
Yeah.
extension.
So yeah, this has got the special rules for the technical ship miniatures, which are a new class of ship.
Okay.
Comes with the command board tiles, additional technical ability tokens, more signal tokens, another special weapon token, some more tiles which have some additional things on, which we'll have a look at those in a sec, and then some special square tiles. I don't know why they're round in here. I think they're for upgrading base tiles.
Mm-hmm.
So like with discovering stuff, I'm assuming. That's another thing I should point out about the rulebooks actually, is it gives you all of the details for the ships that come in these boxes. So your class, your hull points, and then your special abilities. These games are based on a sort of a point system for what you get to field. So a class 1 ship is worth 1 point. So if you play a 15-point game, you can run either 15 class 1s, 3 class 5s, or a mixture sort of thing, and that's how you get your battle sort of legions together. Description of all the tokens. So these are the 2 new tiles, which is a colony and a gamma storm, which they all do interesting stuff. Some will benefit you, some will not benefit you. They give you scenarios. So you do get normal scenarios in the rulebook. So it's a kind of like, if you've ever seen like a Warhammer 40k rulebook, you'll have various scenarios that have certain deployments that are mandated, deployment zones, and then victory conditions and whatnot. So you get a couple of those. These do come with campaign generation.
Right.
So the campaign book itself is actually a standalone, completely separate to all of this. But this does give you the sort of the ingredients to build your own campaign. 2 to 4 players that take 3 to 4 hours to play. So this is playing it from start to finish. So you see on this one you've got 5 battles, and then the same on the next one. So it gives you something to build on.
Mm-hmm.
We have more punch boards. They love the punch boards. So more command tiles. So these are for your 2 new ships. Because you get 3 ships, you get 3 punch boards of everything. Technical tokens, and again more damage trackers. And the same there. Again, all in the double-sided colours, so orange, blue, red, and green. And then, so yeah, these are the double-sided special square tokens.
Right.
I'm still getting my head around the fact they call them a square token. Again, they've really made full use of the printing options they've got, because nearly everything is double-sided. In fact, I think everything is double-sided. Everything has a purpose some way or another. There are no useless tokens, or no matter what you're using, there is nothing that's going to be gone to waste in this game. Couple more. So again, the double-sided. Okay. So one of the nice things about this is that you can actually, like when you're generating your scenario, you can shuffle these all around. If you've got like mainly normal tiles, but you want to put a couple of special ones in, but you don't want to know where they are.
Yeah.
So you can shuffle them all around, lay them out, and then sort of flip them over, and it's like, oh no, I've encountered a gamma storm.
Right. Okay. So this is more like unexplored space.
Yeah. So it adds like an essence of randomness to the game.
Hmm.
So I mean, it just gives you more ways to play. So keeps you interested, I suppose. So this, I think there's just more ships. So these are the actual ships in here. So again, these are the ones that I thought they sent extras, because in fact, this is where I'm going to point out. So you'll notice that the box says 3 of these and 3 of these, yet I have 4 of each.
Right.
So that is because one of these packs here is a stretch goal from the campaign that won't appear in the retail box.
But it's not a ship class you are not going to be able to buy. It's just extras of the ships that you already have.
Correct. Yeah. Not enough flight stands because I think the flight stands are elsewhere. Yeah, they're in one of the other boxes.
So that's definitely a box that's designed not to be kept.
Yes, correct.
There's, not like Massive Darkness where you had, here's your plastic tile.
Yeah, that's right. So again, as I say, all of this box, the main core box, has been specifically designed
to keep everything in
and upgraded twice to keep all of your spaceship goodness within. So yeah, when I get chance to, I will assemble all of this into the one box. I may keep these boxes to fill shelf space just because, like, some of the artwork. I mean, the artwork for something that is so simple as a standalone expansion, a little expansion like this, like the artwork's pretty. I think they've done pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, the boxes are very flimsy. They are sort of just your generic cereal box card, but they feel.
It's definitely something you open it and think, right.
Yeah, it feels a lot nicer. It's got a lovely sort of matte feel to it. So that's Salvation. That's one of the expansions that I picked up. I picked up 2 in total, and the second one being Avatar.
Okay.
So this one was a little different because this came with additional commanders, which had I'm again, without reading the rules fully, I'm assuming additional traits, other things that may benefit you. You also get Class 5 battleships in this one, so these are, again, we'll show you these. These are pretty big.
So I guess these are flagships that the commanders live on, or command.
Yeah. So more double-sided tiles. You've got a black hole. I think that's a black hole.
Black hole.
And then a space station or a space colony, whichever one it is. Once again, in true Capsicum Games style, there are 2 rule books. One French, one English again. You can probably guess that the company is French. So in this one, I can read upside down. So in this one, you get 2 heavy battleships, which are your Class 5 battleships. Mm-hmm. Normal battleships are only Class 4.
Extra dice.
3 extra energy dice. Not quite sure why. I got a load more of those for the 6-player upgrade pack. Some more command board tiles. Command board tiles for the commanders. So it introduces 6 new commanders into the mix. So you'll see that this one has got like a half special weapon tile and a half multi-direction thing. Correct, yeah. Again, 2 special square tokens, some special weapon tokens, minefield tokens, and squadron tokens, because these ones can launch squadrons of fighters, I think. Excuse me. So yeah, your heavy battleships, dreadnoughts. So you get your dreadnought classes and your carrier class, and also your heavy battleship class. There's 3 different classes of ships, all available with the one set of minis.
Okay.
So just to give sort of an idea on these are pretty colossal. Where's them scissors gone? They are pretty colossal minis, these ones, as far as all of the minis in Fleet Commander go. So you've got your Amicicles class and your Phoebe class. So again, done in the same fashion, the multicoloured plastic, done in the injection moulding, I'm guessing, and then your engine colours and your decal. But they're the largest type that you get in the game. They're the little command tiles. Some of these have fell out, but they're your commanders. Again, double-sided, so you can tell your faction colours. Because there are only in Fleet Commander Genesis, there are only 2 factions. It's Amicicles and Phoebe. I forget which way round the 2 are, and then you've got just your reverse side, so you can actually do a proper 4-player 1v1v1v1.
Okay. Or if two people want to be the same side.
Or if, yeah, exactly. So you can have 2 commands. So you can do a 2v2 nice and easy. Or if you wanted to mix it up, then I suppose you could do a 3v1 if you wanted to be really mean to somebody. More punch boards. As I say, some of them, because they're obviously a thinner card stock, they have come out. Yeah, so you've got here heavy battleship, dreadnought, carrier, heavy battleship, dreadnought, carrier, heavy battleship. Your special weapons, your minefields. So the minefield seems as a special weapon that you can activate, and then you leave them behind. So when you've built up your 2 dice on your command card for special weapons, and you drop a special weapon down, you leave a minefield behind.
Right. Which
So
I'm
again,
guessing they can't detect, and then
it's probably, yeah, it's nastiness for the other player involved. Which everybody likes a bit of douchebaggery in these sort of games, don't we?
yeah.
Extra dice, basic standard flight stands again, all the same size, all the same premise as the previous ones. But yeah, the ships are pretty large. Again, the detail on them, I quite like the level of detail that they've managed to get from these castings. I mean, I don't know.
The one thing you don't get is a sense of scale with this.
No.
So there's no viewports, so you can't say,
Correct.
right, okay,
No,
there's a
that-
viewport,
no, that's
so assume
right.
that's one window. And
That's
then you
right.
can
I
bring
mean,
it.
assuming something like this that is a carrier, then you think about it that a fighter jet, however big, a fighter will come out of here, and that'll then have a person in it. So it gives you, once you match it up against the smallest type of ship, which is still a sizable-ish sort of multi-crew ship, and then it ramps up so that they're like an inch long, the small ones, and the technical ships are like this sort of big as well, and then you've got these which are like 4 times the length.
These are the Super Star Destroyers.
Yeah, you can think of it like that. Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to get my head around. Sort of the sense of scale. Is this like kilometers long?
Yeah,
or is it only like a few hundred meters?
I suppose that's one of the things that they don't really allude to in the books, in the spec sheets of the ship. So
I mean, there might be some flavour text about it, but
yeah, there may be some in the rulebook actually, in the main rulebook that gives you sort of a. In fact, I know the main rulebook does give you a little bit of background on the 2 factions. So that finishes with the retail elements, or possible retail elements. These are all Kickstarter exclusives and expansions. This one's. We'll start with this one here. So this one's lots of card stock. So this was a nice one because one of the final stretch goals for the campaign was another pair of heavy battleships.
oh right.
So each faction now has access to 2 of these.
So you can have your dreadnought and your carrier if you wanted, or your heavy battleship.
I have more of those actually. We'll come to that in a sec. So again, more card stock. A couple more ships.
Okay.
So a lot of the stretch goals were extra ships, extra map
tiles.
extra special weapon tokens, and various tokens for the game. More command board tiles.
They are more of the tiles from the.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Yeah,
there's a Kickstarter exclusive.
3
3
more
additional
commands.
commanders, some more technical tokens, special weapon tokens. I think that's like a Stargate sort of thing almost. Again, double-sided. More basic tokens for the Mule and the Salvation, which are the 2 technical ships that were in one of the boxes. Again, in true Capsicum Games fashion, you get 1 in French and 1 in English. So this gives you what the storage is for the commanders. So they've got they basically they can store whatever is there, but only on certain colours. So Donantar can only store blue dice on his card. Aidan Rildanis can only store green, and Bondra Zupta can only store red.
Okay.
So, but then if you notice, their dice pools are different as well.
Yeah.
And then different technical abilities. So it just gives you an extra sort of flavour that you can use in the game, and of course more ships. That was one of the sort of main flavours of the stretch
So
goals.
that's more like the Lightbringer pack, Massive Darkness that we opened.
Yeah,
It's a little bit of the extra things you need, but also here's something different to expand the game a bit.
yeah. So this pack was only for they call this one the Fleet Commander's Fleet Pack. This one I believe was only when you took out the Admiral level pledge.
Right.
So if you back just the basic pledge with the stretch goals, you didn't get this.
But you did.
I did, yeah, because I saw it and thought, yes, I'm having that. So again, more tokens, more not tiles, but more damage trackers for additional ships that you get. Another big one. Another big one.
So you have 3 of those.
Yeah. These are just extra.
Oh.
So you can see they're very similar in style. Just
Yeah, they've got
bigger of.
definite architectural background.
Yeah. So again, some of the smaller ones, and then you get.
So they have effectively just given you all the miniatures again from the base game.
Almost, yeah. It's like
Plus, any technical ships in there?
no technical ships in that one. But again, so that pack is exactly the same as this, but in that style.
Yeah.
So
it's enough to give you a 4-player game. In this case, a 6-player game.
That's not even the 6-player expansion.
Oh right, so this is enough to give you 4-player expansion.
So this
fleets.
is enough to give you all of the minis for a 6-player expansion, or
Bigger
for
fleets.
a larger game, because obviously you play a game to whatever point size you want. You're not
But
limited.
you're having to divvy up the miniatures there between 4 people.
Correct,
So
yeah.
you only have little fleets.
So again, flight stands and bases all put together in the same way as the rest. And then last but not least is the one that sort of everyone was a lot of people in the campaign, from all the comments and what I actually managed to read in the comments and all that, everyone was asking, is this game only going to be for 4 players? Is there a potential ability to use it with more? And the answer is yes, anyway, because it's a tabletop miniatures based game. You just divvy the ships up a bit different, and you've got enough markers and enough tokens that you could just put a blob of blue tack on to tell the difference between the 2 people that are both using red.
Mm-hmm.
But this actually adds a 6-player element to the game, so you get these, which is effectively what I was just saying about putting the blue tack on the bases. Instead, you put a coloured marker on the flight stand. So if you are playing Amicicle's green, but there are 2 of you playing Amicicle's green, then one of you sticks a coloured marker on all of their ships to denote that it's theirs.
Right, okay.
The only other thing that you're limited with is the number of dice, with them being custom, so they give you more dice.
Yeah, because if you've got all your ships hoarding
Yeah.
the special dice up, then yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So you get, each player only gets, I believe it's 6 dice, access to 6. And then they're divvied up when you've rolled them. You obviously hoard some, roll some more. So yeah, you can run out of dice if you're playing 6 people with just a 4-person game. So this just adds you with that not needing to, or not having the issue of running out of dice. So, and that's all of the Kickstarter exclusive stuff as well. So the retail game will be just the main core box, the big box.
Well, we're not sure if it will be that size box or not, but certainly everything that's in the box.
Certainly everything that's in the box. Yeah, we don't know whether the box is going to actually be that size, but yeah. Other than that, that's Fleet Commander.
Looks good.
Yeah.
I've just realised what kind of feel it has about it.
Go on.
Eve.
I've not played it.
So it has that kind of Eve look about it, especially the way they do the heads for the avatar, for the commanders.
Yeah.
Has that kind of sort of Eve sort of futuristic.
Yeah, you're pretty right there, actually.
I'd say these guys, like Eve, have made the tabletop version of it.
Yeah, they've probably drawn their their inspiration from that and a various sort of other.
Yeah.
Because it's the same sort of scale as what Battlefleet Gothic was, same scale as Dropfleet Commander.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to playing this because the mechanic of it is a lot more simple than any of the. It's definitely a lot more simple than what Battlefleet Gothic was when that was out. I think it's going to be easier to play than Dropfleet Commander as well.
Okay.
Because I think Dropfleet Commander is based on a D6 system, or is it D20?
I've not actually played it myself, so
Don't know. Camera crew, one of you have got Dropfleet. D6 or D20? D6. So yeah. Another thing I should point out actually as well is that damage is not randomised.
Okay.
Each ship deals a specific amount of damage.
And each ship has a specific amount of shielding, I suppose?
Yep.
So there's...
your shielding is based purely on whether you've rolled for shields.
Right. So there's always going to be a set amount of damage hitting you, but
Correct.
you don't know if you're going to have enough shielding up to...
So,
and direction, I'm guessing, as well.
Yeah, it's direction is what counts. So if somebody rolls an attack dice and attacks your quadrant, and you need to roll a shield dice to defend your quadrant, otherwise you take the full force. If you roll a shield dice to defend your quadrant, you take none of the damage.
So you have to angle your shields.
So that brings in the whole aspect of when you've got your side command tiles, you've got spaces to hoard dice for later.
Quick, get out there.
So yeah, if you're doing a lot of attacking on this turn, then you're probably going to want to be saving some shields for next turn when they give you a smack back. And again, the same with movement. Movement is done. So your movement is randomised, but your damage is not.
Mm-hmm.
Your attacking direction is randomised, which just adds an element of... It takes away the pure strategy from the game and adds a bit of, oh no, I've rolled that, now what do I do?
Yeah.
So it keeps you on your toes. I've only seen one video online of this being played so far. Admittedly, I haven't been particularly looking for them, but it looks like a relatively easy game to pick up and play.
We'll do ours and get it up there, won't we? So
yeah. So yeah, keep watching back, keep checking us out for when we get to play the game. So yeah, that's Fleet Commander, and we are Rage Flip. See you again.
See ya.